You're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Good morning. We're going to get started in a minute. So get your mats ready. Maybe if you have a space heater, I want to click it on. I don't know about you. We turned our air conditioning on because it's hot outside. So now our house is cool. So I feel like I'm like cooling it, and then I like turn a space heater on. It's kind of silly. But yes, we'll get ready in just a minute. So see you all on your mats. There's if you look at the description of this video, there's a link to a Spotify list. So if you want some, it's just like, there's not like lyrics, it's just like beats and stuff. So if you need that, just to kind of help give you a little vibe for your class, you can click on that, listen to that. And then we'll start in a seated meditation today. So about 30 more seconds, but if you want to just have a seat, make yourself comfy, feel free, and we'll get started in just a moment. All right, so find yourself just an easy cross-legged seat or on the knees, whatever's comfy for you that you can kind of hang out for the next few minutes in. And then just allow your eyes to close. Knowing that we're kind of in this weird, strange moment in history and the world. Knowing that at some point there will be a light at the tunnel, but maybe not quite knowing where that light is. So try to draw yourself to this moment, this present moment, seeing the light, seeing the life that's all around you here. And instead of looking out at the external world, really trying to turn inward to see the internal world. The movement and flow of sensations in the body. The rise and fall of thoughts in your mind. Maybe even the natural rhythm of the breath. No matter where you've chosen to start your practice today, just allow the chin to start to fall heavy to the chest so that the back of the neck is long. And on your next breath in, allow the right ear to come towards the right shoulder. And then gently allow the chin to pass down through the center. And then left ear to left shoulder. The chin comes back down through the center. Right ear returns to the right shoulder. This time we'll take a journey to the back, lifting the chin high, the neck still reaching long as you roll the neck all the way over to the left ear, left shoulder. And the chin lifts again as the head rolls to the back, right ear, right shoulder. Then you can choose, you can take chin to chest or chin to sky, going back to the left side one more time. And then returning the head to a nice neutral position stacked on top of the shoulders. Starting to deepen the breath here as you inhale, reach the arms nice and high so it's a big stretch through the body. Your eyes can look up past your hands. Feel the belly really lifted and squeezed here as the scapula or the shoulders press down. And then exhale, just take a simple twist to the right here. Hands can lower down to the mat. Maybe you catch the thigh or the knee. Just start to feel that rotation now. So the neck starting to warm up, but now moving down into the spine. Just starting to feel little bits of energy, little bits of warmness starting to rise up in the spine. And then it's an inhale to bring you back to the center. Exhale takes you over to the left. We'll take a twist right and left again. Inhale, let those arms really reach high. And then exhale, it twists you to the right. Inhale brings you through the center. Exhale, last time to the left side. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, place your hands down, rolling forward onto the hands and knees here for tabletop pose. Coming into that nice neutral spine, start by feeling the engagement of the belly there. So don't let that belly drop down. Really try to feel just a neutral spine, your pelvis tipping, belly pulling up and in. Good. Take a big deep breath in through the nose. And then that full exhale starts to round the spine, pressing into the mat. The tops of the feet press down, the hands press, really rounding through each of those vertebrae. And then inhale, now drop that belly, smile the heart forward. A couple more of these here. Inhale to press and round through your spine. Exhale to drop the belly, smile the heart. Exhale, press, stretching each of your vertebrae long. Belly drops, heart opens on the breath in. Your breath may even start to make some sound here, creating a little bit of a rhythm, maybe like waves or the ocean. As that spine just takes a few more chances to open and close here, maybe adding in any swivel of the hips or something that just feels good to your morning body here. And then when you're ready, we'll start to take those hips up and back. Start by curling the toes, lifting the hips up to that upside down V. It's like your body makes a little teepee. Just breathing into the lengthening of the backs of the legs. You can pedal through the knees, maybe shift the hands a little bit so you find that sweet spot of your downward facing dog. And then from here, try to let the ribs inch closer to the thighs there so the backs of the legs really stretch long. And it's okay if there's a little bend in the knees. Just feeling that maybe rush of sensation towards the head as the heart and the hips lift above the head. Good, and then your breath in rocks you forward to plank pose, top of your yoga push-up here. Holding here, really feeling the power of the hands like you did in that tabletop pose, but now the knees are lifted. And if you do lower the knees down, don't place the knees underneath the hips. Really try to just soften the knees down right where they are. Keep those toes curled so that you're really feeling the engagement of the core. So now it's one, if your knees are down, one long line from the knees to the shoulders, or one long line from the heels to the shoulders. One big deep breath in. As you exhale, lower down chaturanga, elbows squeeze in tight. You can belly flop all the way down here. Keep the hands pressing into the mat. As you inhale, gently start to lift the shoulders. Maybe not even pressing into the hands. Could you lift them and float them off the ground? Or just lower down to the finger pads? Holding another inhale to lift a little higher. Exhale softens you back down. We'll take that shape again, starting to lift up. This time you can press into the hands a little bit more. And then look over the right shoulder here, just getting a little bit of a twist here. Any level of this upward dog or cobra. Exhale softens you back down to the mat. It's an inhale to press up. This time looking over to the left. Getting a little bit of a rotation, a little bit of a twist here. And then exhale, it's going to soften you back down. Flip the toes, start to take the hips up and back into that downward facing dog. We'll take 3 deep breaths here. Each time we visit the downward dog, it's a great reminder to cue into the breathing if you've lost track of the breath. It's a great reminder to observe any changes that might start to rise up in the body. Good. As you inhale, rock forward to plank pose again. Exhale, lower down chaturanga, that yoga push-up. This time, try to let the hips float high. Don't belly flop down. Toes flip, heart opens. If you can keep those hips up, that's your upward dog. And then it's an exhale, hips up and back. It's downward facing dog. And that's our vinyasa here. We'll take that sequence quite a few times here. The option to always skip the push-up and the up dog and go to downward dog is there. Your next inhale, up to your tippy toes, looking to your hands, and then a step or hop to the front of your yoga mat there. Just a moment of dangling here over the legs. Starting to feel the body really rooting down into the feet. Take a half lift, bring the hands to shins, looking up and out. Finding that length there, and then as you exhale, fold and soften into that length, maybe moving past that edge of sensation. 2 more times here, that little half lift. It's an inhale to look up and out. And then exhale, sinking into that hamstring stretch. One last time, look up, out, maybe feeling some length more than you felt before. And then as you exhale, it really softens down into the forward fold. Standing all the way up nice and tall, reach your arms nice and high. Catch the left wrist in the right hand and take a side bend over to the right. We'll hang out an extra breath or 2 here. Really try to root down into the left foot here. So you really feel pushing down into the left foot and pulling through the right arm. The left side of the body is nice and long. It's an inhale to bring you up through the center. Exhale takes you to the other side. A couple breaths here, really feeling the length, rooting into the right foot, lengthening through the right side of the body. Inhale, passes through the center. The chin can lift here for a small little back bend, really opening the heart. And then exhale, dive forward, melting in, forward fold. Take a half lift as you look up, look out. Exhale, stepping back to the top of that yoga push-up, lowering down, chaturanga. Your toes will flip, your heart will open as you breathe in, looking up. And then an exhale takes you to the downward facing dog. It's 3 deep breaths, realigning the breathing, realigning the mind if things start to kind of distract you in this. It's an inhale up to your tippy toes, looking to your hands. Make your way to the front of the yoga mat. Half lift as you inhale, look up and out. And then exhale, soften down. Starting our little yogi warm-up here. As you inhale, reach tall to the sky. And then exhale to side bend over to the right. Inhale passes you through the center. And then exhale over to the left. Back through the center here. Chin lifts, little back bend. Open that heart. And then exhale, dive forward. Half lift on the breath in. And then exhale, make your way to downward facing dog. It's 3 deep breaths there. Your next breath in lifts you up to the toes, look to the front of the mat. And then exhale, make your way to the front side next to the hands. Half lift on the breath in. And then exhale, drop it back down. Stand all the way up. 1 more round through our sun salutation. Arms reach high. It's an exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale through the center. Exhale over to the left. Passing through the center, the chin lifts, eyes look up, and then exhale, dive forward. So that half lift as you look up and out, and then exhale, plant the hands, step back, little yoga push-up here, up dog and down dog. Three breaths. Half lift. Lift the tippy toes as you look to the hands on your inhale. Don't half lift. And then exhale, make your way forward. Half lift as you breathe in. Big toes are touching here. As you exhale, drop the hips down into a chair pose, Utkatasana. So the hips sinking low, arms will start to sweep up next to the ears. Your belly's zipped up tight, and then the hips drop low. We'll spend 5 breaths here, trying to drop lower and lower on every exhale that we take. So it's like you're dropping 5 floors in an elevator in this chair pose. Eyes can look up past the hands. The thigh bones are squeezing in towards each other, so don't let those knees start to drift apart. And then as you exhale, swing the arms down by the sides. The shoulder blades start to lift and kiss up behind you, really opening the front side of the shoulder. So feel activation through the collarbones. Eyes can soften, the chest can lean forward. Good. Inhale, stretch the legs straight, reach the arms up. And then fold forward as you breathe out. Half lift as you inhale. Exhale, plant your hands. Take a vinyasa here. That little push-up will all meet in downward facing dog. Right toes will swing high to the sky. As you're on your inhale, it's a 3-legged dog here. Feel the hands planting firm. Feel the left heel dropping to the mat, and then energy lengthening through the toes in the sky. As you exhale, crunch it in, knee to nose, rock forward so shoulders come over the hands. Big squeeze here, and then the inhale lifts those toes back to the sky. Exhale, step the foot between your hands. The back heel will rotate down to the yoga mat. Come up, warrior 1. Arms reaching high, hips dropping low. Really feeling the right thigh bone pulling backward and then the left hip floating forward. Trying to square. It doesn't have to be perfectly square, but really feeling that rotation there so that the left ribs are pulling inward. And then as you exhale, open the arms to warrior 2. Arms wide in this stance here, looking out over those fingers towards the front of the mat or front of the whatever's past your mat, a wall, a tree, I don't know where you're practicing. Good. From here, keep that right arm right where it is. Let the left arm start to swim forward to meet the right one. And then allow the right arm now to reach to the right side. Keep that back heel rooted and grounded. So really rooting down and starting to feel this twist and rotation. Trying to start the rotation from that back heel, pressing down, and then it spirals through the leg, starts to spiral into the hips, through the ribs, and then really trying to flatten out like a warrior 2, but it's twisting on the other side. Just holding here a couple more breaths. The eyes trying to now look out over the right fingers, whether they're reaching to the side, maybe the back diagonal, or if you're all the way spiral towards the back of the room. And then sink the hips a little lower for the next breath or 2. Your inhale, pop that back heel up, arms swing up by the ears for lightning bolt. So again, like a 3-legged dog here, but the hands are now floating. So that energy is reaching heel to fingertips, one long line, belly's lifted and squeezed. Big deep breath in. And then as you exhale, bring the hands down to the yoga mat, take a vinyasa, make your way to the other side. Left toes will come up nice and high to the sky here. That 3-legged dog here, remember that long line of energy, so it's reaching from toes to fingers. We'll kind of revisit this shape, but with a lunging leg in a minute for lightning bolt. As you exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, toes float. Exhale, step between the hands. That back heel rotates down for warrior 1. Virabhadrasana, letter A. The fingers reaching high, the hips sinking low. Trying to look up past the hands. They can press together if you're feeling fancy, but wide arms is okay too. And just another breath or 2. Good. Exhale, opens you up, warrior 2. Those strong arms in a T, looking out over your left fingers. Really feel the hips sinking in so that left leg is really lunging strong. Big bend in that left knee. Expand through your wings like their fingers are reaching in 2 directions. That back arm now starts to creep its way forward, meeting both hands together, and then start to open up that twist, the left finger starting to reach to the side, maybe to the diagonal or even behind you. Feel that rotation there, rooting down through the back heel, spiraling through the leg, rotating the hips, the ribs, all of it opening and twisting here for about 2 more breaths. So really breathing into the rotation. And then the arms start to sweep up by the ears. The chest is leaning forward. Long line of energy from fingertips to back heel that's lifted off the ground, lunging into the left leg. One more big breath in. Exhale, hands come down. Make your way to downward facing dog. We're going to take that same sequence here 2 more times. We won't hold as long. We'll move a little bit faster just to get a little bit of the heart rate up, get the sweat pumping. Right toes lift high to the sky. Exhale, crunch it in, knee to nose. Inhale, toes float. And then exhale, step. Back heel comes down. It's that warrior 1 shape here. Arms reaching up nice and high. We'll spend about a breath or 2 here. So not too fast, but just sinking into the sensations there. Breathing in. Arms open on the exhale for warrior 2. Reaching out 2 directions there. It's like your arms playing a game of tug of war. Who's going to win, the front or the back? Good. Closing the arms to the front. And then like a book, opening the other side here, finding that rotation and twist. Trying to bend that knee just a little bit more. Good. Inhale, back heel lifts off the ground. Arms sweep up by the ears. And then exhale, bring the hands to the yoga mat. Take your vinyasa. Left toes reach high here, 3-legged dog, other side. Exhale, crunch it in, knee to nose. Toes float. And then an exhale, step between the hands. Back heel lowers, warrior 1. Arms reaching high, hips magnetized to the mat below you. Your next exhale opens the arms nice and wide, that warrior 2 shape. Really feeling your energy expanding outward. Closing the right arm to meet the left. And then opening into the twist here. Left finger start to reach to the side, to the back behind you. Rooting into that back heel. Inhale, swings the arms up by the ears. Chest leans forward. Back heel comes up off the mat. And then exhale, lower down. Take a vinyasa. Right and left 1 more time. So the right toes reaching up nice and high. Exhale, crunch it in, knee to nose. Toes float as you breathe in. Exhale, step. Back heel starts to come down. Warrior 1. Reach the arms high on the inhale. Exhale, opens warrior 2. Inhale, reach that arm to the knee at the other hand. And then exhale, start to twist. Inhale, sweep the arms up by the ears. Back heel floats. And then exhale, lower the hands down. Take your vinyasa. Left toes reaching up. Crunch it in. Inhale, toes float. Exhale, step. Back heel seals. Arms inhale high for warrior 1. Exhale to warrior 2. Inhale, right arm comes forward. And then exhale, opens into that twist. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms by the ears. Chest forward. Back heel lifts. And then exhale, hands down. Make your way to downward facing dog. Three deep breaths here. And then gently allow the knees to soften to the mat. Coming into child's pose. Child's pose. My voice cracked. You won't stay too long here, but allow yourself this time to go back inward if you've lost track of that consciousness, that awareness. If the thoughts of, I can't do this, this is too hard, why does this hurt, start to pop up, just acknowledge them there and try to let them move away. For the next few breaths, you can take any variation of this child's pose here. You could crawl the hands to the right or crawl them to the left, or maybe a threading underneath the armpit, bringing an ear to the mat, or just simply staying. Making sure you even yourself out. And then when you're ready, we're going to make our way to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift up to the tippy toes, and then make your way to the front of the mat. We're going to start our next little sequence or series here. Take a half lift to look up and out, and then exhale, soften back down, sink the hips back into that Utkatasana chair pose. Arms will reach nice and high. Hips are dropping nice and low. Breathing into the sensations that start to rise up in this shape. And then when you're ready, we'll rock the chest forward for that chair plane pose. The arms will swing back. Really pull the shoulder blades back so that the collarbones smile open. There's activation in the shoulder blades, in the collarbones. Good. And then from here, we're just going to take the right foot. The right toes start to come light, really pressing into the left foot. And step that leg behind you. So like that lightning bolt we did before with the arms up, but the arms now are down. Good. Allow that back knee to gently soften down to the yoga mat. Uncurl those toes. Bring the hands to the knee and start to press the hip forward and down. Anjaneyasana. If you feel like you're stable and balanced here, you can start to lift those arms up by the ears. And then can you really turn it into a heart opening, a back bending shape here? So lifting the upper ribs, the collarbones, the throat, the chin. So it opens and deepens that bend into the heart, into the back. All the while you're pressing your hips forward and down. So really feel that expanse and that opening there through the whole front side of the body. Bring the hands to heart center here, lifting the chest back up if you've opened it. Start to twist to your left. The right elbow will hook onto the left knee here, and then press down through the left hand, getting a nice deep twist here. That back knee can stay lower down so that you can really, instead of thinking of the hips coming up, really try to drop the hips into this shape. So you're still getting that big hip opening shape that you had in that last pose, but now you're getting the hips and a spiral and twist of the spine. The eyes, if they're looking at the ground, they'll help you build stability. Maybe you look to the side wall or past that left elbow towards the sky or the back corner of the room. Undoing the twist, we'll come into a half-seated split here, so the hips will start to rock back. The left leg starts to lengthen long. You can keep the hips right over the knee and melt down forward that way, or you can try to sit all the way back. If you have a full split in your practice, you could also just pop right down into them. Wherever you are, we're just trying to feel some length there through the left leg. About 3 or 4 more breaths here. Softening into the shape. Inhale, rock those hips back forward, bending into that left knee again. The right hand comes next to the left foot. We're going to take a dragonfly twist, but then from here, that back knee's still down, so try to let that heel start to lift up. You can stay in this shape here, or you can try to reach back for the foot. Just gently pulling it pulling the heel towards the bum. And then again, trying to press the hips forward and down, really deepening those sensations there. And just a few more moments here. And then releasing the back toes down to the mat. Pressing now strong into the right hand. The left toes will come light. We'll come into Vashisthasana, side plank. Side plank here. So balancing on the feet there. We're going to take the hips all the way down to the mat. So from that side plank, let the hips drop down. Keep the legs straight as you inhale. Start to pick the hips up. Try to lift them as high as you can. So that it becomes like maybe the hips are even higher. So it's not really a long line anymore. It's lifted hips. And then exhale, drop them back down. Good. Inhale, pick those hips up. Exhale, drop them back down. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, drop them back down. About 2 or 3 more of these. You can use your breath to inhale, float the hips. Exhale, they drop down. It's like a little side plank push-up here. Except you're not using the arms at all. So might start feeling this in your core and your side ribs. Then we'll all meet in a normal plank pose. Let the left hand come down to the mat. 3 deep breaths here. And then exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog on the breath in. And then an exhale to downward facing dog. And just walk the hands one step closer to the feet there so it becomes a little bit more of a narrow down dog. And then start to reach the right hand over towards the left shin or ankle. So you're going to get like a little bit of a twist and a cross here. Balancing really on that left hand here. So now the other arm that wasn't in the side plank is really pushing into the mat. And feeling that rotation there. Just feeling a little bit of a twist, a lengthening of the legs. About 2 more breaths here. And then releasing that hand. Lifting up to the tippy toes, looking towards your hands, and then exhale, make your way to the front of the yoga mat. Half lift on the inhale. Exhale drops you down into that forward fold. Hips sink low, returning to chair pose. Arms will reach up nice and high, starting the left side here. Reaching the arms up, the belly zipped up tight and squeezed. Just a few breaths here. Each exhale dropping you in. It's like there's a magnet in your butt that pulls you down towards the mat. Feeling the tip of that pelvis. Exhale, rock the chest forward, swing the arms back. Chair plank pose. And then keeping the arms there, step that foot back, coming into thunderbolt. You're spending a breath or 2 here. And then the softening of that back knee down to the mat. Uncurl the toes. Take the hands to the knees. Feel the hips pressing down and low. And then when you're ready, the arms can sweep up by the ears for Anjaneyasana, that low crescent moon. Again, just reaching the hands up, but then maybe starting to deepen into the heart and throat by turning this shape into a really big back bending, lifting through the ribs and collarbone. Hips pressing down and forward. And the breath strong. Three more breaths. Bringing the hands to heart center here, starting to twist to your right. let the left elbow hook onto the left knee. It's a prayer twist, but we've got the back knee down there. So it's really helping you root into the mat, really grounding you into shape so that you can focus on that deep rotation. And it starts in the hips. So feel the hips twisting towards that right leg. And then the ribs are also rotating, and that spiral moves all the way up through the spine, pressing down through the right hand. Again, for stability, look down, but then try to challenge that. Maybe look to the side or look past your right elbow up towards the sky or the ceiling. In just a moment or two more. Undoing the twist, the hips will sink back for those half-seated splits. So just finding wherever the hips are comfortable so that you can lengthen the right leg. And then let the heart melt forward over the right thigh, knee, or shin. And then on your inhale, starting to shift the hips forward. It's the left hand planted next to the right foot. That dragonfly twist, so the right fingers reach up. Leave the back knee down and start to let the heel come towards the bum. And then reach that right hand. Even if you can't grab the foot, feel the heel coming towards you. You'll feel a nice stretch through the front of your left thigh. And when you're ready, gently releasing the foot, curling the toes, and then letting that back knee start to lift off the ground. Pushing strong into your left hand, coming into that Vashisthasana, that side plank pose. So keep both feet together here to the side. The hips will lift really high on the inhale, and then as you exhale, let those hips soften down to the yoga mat. Good. Inhale, use all your strength to lift them back up. Exhale, sit the hips down. Inhale, the hips lift up. Exhale, they sit back down. Good. It's an inhale to lift it up. And just a few more of these, moving your own rhythm, your own breath here. Maybe even feeling like you're struggling just a little bit. It's just about 2 more breaths. And we'll meet in plank pose. 3 deep breaths here. And then it's that chaturanga as you exhale to upward facing dog. And then to downward facing dog as you breathe out. 3 deep breaths. And then walking those hands a little closer to the feet, we'll take that twist to the other side here. The left fingers start to reach towards the right shin or ankle. Feeling that twist, that rotation here, our last little bit here. About 2 more full breaths. Releasing the hand, lift up to the tippy toes, and then make your way to the front of your yoga mat. Half lift on the inhale. Exhale, soften back down. Inhale, stand all the way up, nice and tall. And take the hips about hip distance apart here. We're going to take a tree pose here, so start to let the left foot root into the mat. The right toes become light. And then you can place the right foot on the inner thigh or on the calf. And then bring the hands to heart center. We'll start here, feeling that balance. If you feel the rooting of the left foot into the mat, you also start to feel the lift and engagement of the belly. The shoulders kind of press down as the neck and the chin and the head float high. Think about these opposing energies here, really rooting you down, but lifting you up to help you balance. And there's a saying that says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. But the second best time to plant a tree is right now. So if you fall out of this tree, you can always return. If the mind starts to wander, you can simply begin again right now. If the leg starts to become fatigued, you can shift your thoughts and breathe into that space, releasing some of that tension right now. If you'd like to move a little further, maybe lift the arms up to the ceiling. You can shift the gaze or the focus to look up past your hands. And just a few more simple breaths right now. When you're ready, you can gently let the right foot release and return back down to the earth. Bring the arms down by your side and just feel yourself planted firm on 2 feet. Observing the different sides of the body and how they may feel similar or how they may feel different. And then when you're ready, starting to root into the right foot. Letting the left foot become light and connecting the left foot to the inner thigh or the calf. Hands pressed at heart center. Finding those pulling and grounding energies, floating high and rooting down. And then breathing into those wiggles or those wobbles, those fluctuations. Some moments of this tree pose may feel really perfect and balanced. Other moments may feel like you're in the middle of a hurricane. And any of the thoughts or sensations or feelings in between those extremes, they're all normal. They're all acceptable. Just try to return to the breath right now. You can extend the arms to move a little bit deeper into the balance. Let the eyes float high to the sky. Always coming back to the shape, even if you lost track. When you're ready, gently releasing the foot back down to the earth, arms down by your sides. And feeling the rooting, the grounding into both feet now, standing tall. Inhale the arms up nice and high. Exhale, taking a forward fold here. You can heel toe the feet about hip distance apart. And we'll just take one moment here. So you can take your peace sign fingers, wrap them around the big toe. Or you can slide the hands underneath the feet. Or simply grab the ankles or place the hands on the mat. Any variation. It's an inhale to take a half lift. And then exhale, pulling into the shape here. 5 deep breaths. Inhale, take a half lift, releasing the hands. Exhale, plant those hands. Make your way to downward facing dog. Inhale up to your tippy toes, and we're going to jump through to a seated position. Take Janu Shirsasana today. The left leg extends long in front of you. The right sole of the foot connects, just like tree pose, but seated on the floor. That knee just flops out to the side, and then you can start to crawl yourself out over the left leg. We're going to spend about a minute or two here, so really try to soften into this. Reminding yourself that if the mind tells you to fidget or come up and out, you can always return to your breath, always return to your stillness, always return to the softening around that edge or wave of sensation. You can return right now. Just another few moments here. Gently crawling yourself up and out of this side. Being gentle with the body as you transition to the other side. And when you're ready, crawling yourself out over the other leg. Breathing into this side, just like you did on the left leg. Surrendering to the intense feelings, maybe sensations in the body or thoughts in the mind. Just a few more moments. Really try to drop into the deepest place of this shape. And gently, mindfully crawling your way up and out of this side. Rolling down onto our backs, the big squeeze of the knees into the chest. And take a spinal twist here. So let the knees soften to the right. Arms can open out to the side. The head turns the opposite direction. The eyes can soften closed here. Still feeling some sensation and opening in that rotation. But also trying to let the breath maybe smooth back to its natural breathing rhythm. Maybe noticing the heart rate cooling down. Allow the knees to pass through the center as you make your way to the left. And you've got about a minute or two for any final things your body may need. Just hug those knees in tight, maybe a rock side to side or drawing some circles with the knees. You could take a shoulder stand, a plow pose, bridge pose, happy baby, maybe even just some wiggles or flings around to get the body ready for the final pose. We'll stretch the legs out long. Let the arms rest on the stomach or by the hips. The eyes soften and fall deep and heavy into their sockets. And then observing the body right now, letting go of any stress or strain, any gripping or tension. Because the best time to let go of those things was 20 years ago. But the second best time is to let go right now. Shavasana. Take rest. Taking a big deep breath in and letting it out. Taking some subtle movement into the body, starting to wake it back up. We'll all meet up in a seated meditation. Bringing the hands to heart center with the eyes closed. There are plenty of trees I think we all wanted to plant when we knew we were going into quarantine. And although the light at the end of the tunnel may not be super clear just now, the second best time to plant those trees is right now. Exhale to bow forward and seal in your practice and all of your effort today. Inhale to sit back up nice and tall. Exhale, let the eyes open. Namaste. Thank you for all being here. I hope you're having a great Monday. Here we are, start of another week. So yeah, thanks for joining us today, and we will see you all when we see you. Tomorrow, John, 9:30. We'll see you then. But then, so yeah, I'm Mondays 9:30, John's Tuesday 9:30, and then Friday it's a 9:30 with John and 6:30 Yin and Juice. So stay tuned, and we'll see you around. Bye.